what is it we're doing?
We are getting ready to put up a big tarp for shade and to keep us out of the weather while we're camping over here on our land.
Right, but the pop-up canopies, they're cheap.
The pop-up canopies, I use them all the time to work on my cars over here, and they just, as soon as a windstorm comes through, they get all bent up
Right.
and they rip and they
But you'll be able to
fly
use
off the ground.
this to work on your cars too.
Yeah, so for so far we've spent $150
Plus the tarp.
for the 4x4s, all the buckets, so we're going to do 6 4x4s. We're going to do 6 buckets.
Yep.
And we got like 4 bags of the concrete mix.
Which is too much.
Which, no, I don't think, actually it's not going to be. So it's 80 times 4, it's 320 pounds of concrete.
Okay.
I would highly suggest you probably get somewhere close to that.
Okay.
300 pounds. If you're going to do 6, we're doing a 10 by 20 area.
Right.
So that's 300 square foot. So if you go buy a 10 by 20 canopy, you're going to spend a couple $100.
And it's not going to last.
And it's not going to last. So we figured if we spent less than 200.
I think so.
What did we spend on the top?
I'll put the total up on the screen.
Okay, we'll put the total up on the
around
screen.
200.
It's around 200 bucks. We got 6 4x4x10s.
Yeah, they're tall.
Because we're figuring that if this don't work to keep the tarp from blowing these over, which I can't imagine it will, we can dig holes and drop these in the ground a foot or 2. Whoa, look at that.
And you have an amazing solution on bringing down the tarp during bad weather, but we'll get to that later.
Yep, we'll get to that once we get the tarp hooked up.
Yep.
You'll see what we did. It's really cool.
It is. Essentially, couldn't this be used later to build a better structure?
Yes, it could. Because I'm thinking that you might be able to bury these buckets in the ground and bury the 4x4s a little bit, and actually probably just put a roof on it.
Right.
Tin.
Yeah, that'd be
awesome.
awesome.
You can frame the top. Put some fascia boards around it.
Yeah.
Some 2x4s for your what are they called? 2x4s. Go across right there. Come on. Purlins. Purlins.
Yeah. So you could create more of a permanent type
I
carport.
know how to build some things, but I don't know all the technical names. So you put fascia boards around the outside. They're your boards that go this way, attached to your 4x4s. And then what you do is you attach your roof rails across, and then you put purlins like that there on his across, so that supports. These are your roof rails sticking out, and then you put your purlins. Now we didn't do fascia board on this because we're not trying to make it look pretty or anything. You don't really need fascia boards, but it does reinforce your roof a little bit.
Okay.
So something like this, I'd probably put fascia boards on.
Cool.
Just to support it a little better. So you just kind of mix your concrete around. You just dump some water in these buckets. You don't really need, I would say probably a half gallon of water maybe.
How long does it take for that to set?
About a day for this to set. So we'll come back over here in a day or 2, and then we'll put these things where we want them and get our tarp attached. So make sure that you keep watching the video here to see how this all pans out. Now, we've never tried this before, but
yeah, learn with us.
Yeah. So the tree house over there, those 4x6s, those supports in the front that go vertical, not the X, but the ones that go up and down on both sides, they're 4x6s, and that was all. This is all marshy in here, so it's wet. So we got the idea of cementing those 4x6s into Home Depot buckets and then burying them in the marsh, and that has not sunk at all.
Yeah, and it's been about 2 or 3 years.
It's been about 2 or 3 years, and that tree house is completely level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep.
Fabulous. So yeah, let's do it.
We wanted to do it permanent, then we could level the buckets in
Yeah.
the ground to make these level. So we are leveling them out because the ground is fairly level here.
Right.
Okay, so we got all of our buckets done. We got the 4x4s concreted in. We weren't going to dig holes for the buckets, but we realized that they were a little more top heavy than we thought. So when we attach the tarp here, they're gonna just want to pull in. So what we're gonna do, and we did plan on this, to plan on digging holes for the buckets. So we're gonna dig holes for the buckets and bury them maybe like up to here or something. And then that way they won't tip over on us. So right now we're gonna lay out our tarp. So I did say 10 by 20 tarp the other day, but it's a 12 by 20 tarp. We got that on Amazon pretty cheap. I don't remember how much. I think it was 40 or 50 bucks. It was a 16 mil tarp, pretty heavy duty. So this should do what we need it to do. It's waterproof, it's UV resistant, so it's made for outdoors. Make sure you don't get the blue one, the blue tarp, if you're gonna do this. If you do, plan on replacing it a lot because it's gonna tear on you. We got a more heavy duty one, so we're hoping that we don't have to replace it as often. The idea that we had should still be better than all these canopies we keep buying, because it seems like we buy at least 1 or 2 a year. At the 10 by 20 canopies run about 200 bucks for a cheap one, and one windstorm here in Texas, they're gone. One storm. So anyways, this is what we're gonna do. This isn't portable, but you can move it. So and the buckets are heavy. There's probably 60 pounds of concrete in each one. So this isn't something you want to move around a lot.
I could move the 4x4s with the buckets in them. Not easily. I had to grab the 4x4 and drag it, but I could move it. Just
right.
A note on your portability.
It can be moved. Yep.
Are you hot, Charger? Are you hot? You're hiding under the truck? You poor baby. Oh, you have a very long tongue.
Gonna go in the middle.
Look at that. That's gonna be big. I guess you can't really tell on camera how big.
We're gonna have 2 ends. See how it's gonna be?
Yeah, okay, so he's doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then same on that side in the back. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So if that makes sense. I'm assuming that's whatever. They may have already told you in the video. I'm taping now. I didn't even watch the last video, so I'm not really sure where we left off with this. Hopefully I'm sharing the right information here.
Okay, those buckets are heavy. But we always overdo things, because if you underdo it, you just wasted a lot of money. So I always like to overdo it. This should last. So we bought these kits. We've seen them on Slick Deals. I don't know if you know about Slick Deals, slickdeals.com.net. I think you can get there either way. They have some fantastic deals from anywhere from Home Depot, Amazon, Lowe's, all these different online stores. People post these deals that they find, clearance deals, all kinds of stuff. We have gotten some amazing deals from Slick Deals. So we got these. We found them on Slick Deals, bought them from Amazon through Slick Deals.
We'll link them.
Yep, we'll link them up.
So you can go see what they were.
They're shade sails hardware. $5 a kit. They come with adjusters for your sails, which we're going to use for our tarp, so you can tighten it. And it also comes with little pieces of hardware to attach your carabiners to. Pretty cool, huh? $5 a kit. 2 kits, $10. So we have double these parts right here. We have 4 of these, we have 8 of these, and we have 4 carabiners, 2 hardware kits. So we got more than enough for what we need. We'll have leftover pieces.
All right, so he's attaching that one at the way that it's gonna work is it's gonna be attached at the lowest point down here and then slowly, you know, work its way up across the 3 poles. So it's at its highest point over here so that the water runs off. But he's attaching it at 6 foot on this pole. But we have to consider that we're burying the buckets, so probably gonna be at 5 feet. Now, for most people, this may be too short, but in our house, there is no one in our house that even reaches 5.5 feet tall. So that'll be perfect for us. We should just be a little bit shorter than the, you know, taller people here. Woohoo, first one attached. Looks good. Wow, look at how far they got. They got this bucket buried, that bucket buried, not that bucket buried, that bucket buried,
Grab me
that bucket buried, and not that bucket buried. So you guys are 4 out of 6 done. And it looks like you guys are attaching more of those, what are they called? Carabiner holder things?
Yeah, the adjusters. They're adjusters.
Adjusters. Yeah, adjusters, that's what I meant. Look at that!
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's
That's actually pretty cool. Honestly, we might leave it like that. So they have it attached to the 4 corners, but then they just put a 5th one in the middle to hold it up. And it's actually, because it's so tight in there, that bucket's not gonna fall over, I don't think.
No, it's not.
Because it's so tight. Yeah, that's not gonna go anywhere. And that way, it's actually gonna drain better like that.
It's gonna run off all the sides.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so we got our tarp done that we're using. We were camping out here for a while. We decided since last time, you all have been following this, we were using the adjusters on the end for the sail. We decided to not go with them and go with these tarp clamps, because what was happening was the adjusters were in here and on here with the little hook. They did not work, because when we hooked them to these eyelets, as you'll see on the other side, it just ripped this whole thing right off the tarp. So what we did is I had these laying around from Harbor Freight. They're called tarp clamps, and it worked like a charm. We put them on all 4 corners. We put a prop in the middle, and this is it. It got a little loose. This has been a week, this thing's been standing. So got a little loose over here. We did have this clamp over here, and I think next time we would probably go higher. We were gonna raise it up, but we thought, we didn't want to do the extra work right now. But as you can see, this is where those adjusters ripped out, but then the clamps just came in. You clamped the rip part and it worked perfect. We got some pretty good wind while we were out here. It did not rip off. A couple times they just popped out of the clip, the tarp clamp, but all you needed to do was just grab the tarp, put it back in the clamp, screw it on, and that only happened maybe once or twice throughout the whole week. So if you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends.